Hello children, in this video we are going to study Introduction to Graphs. Now, Introduction to Graph is the next installment in the chapter called Graphs. Now here, before we actually study what's the content of the chapter, let us recall all those type of graphs that we have studied so far. We had started with bar graph, wherein we saw the quantities represented as bar. Now here we could see the bar graph wherein each of the quantity is shown as a bar. Next, we studied joint bar graph wherein joint bars to show the comparative study between two items are shown here. Now here we could see the joint bar graph wherein we are comparing series 1 and series 2 for categories 1, 2, 3 and 4. Next, we studied pie chart wherein we had seen the quantities shown as sectors of a circle. Now this is a pie chart wherein first quarter, second quarter, third quarter and fourth quarter are the different quantities represented with different colors. Next, we studied histogram. Now in histogram what happened was all the bars were connected, all the bars were joined to show the actual comparison between different series or different quantities. Next, what we are going to study in this chapter is called a linear graph. Now this is how a general linear graph looks like, wherein we see the quantities measured as points and there's a connection between the points wherein we could see a certain line being formed. Different lines show us upward trend and downward trend. Upward trend showing the growth and downward trend showing the decline. Now let us go for exercise. Now this is exercise 15.1. First question. The following graph shows the temperature of a patient recorded every hour. What was the patient's temperature at 1 p.m.? Now the temperature at 1 p.m. is in between 36 and 37 degrees. That's why it is 36.5. Exactly in between. That's why 36.5. When was the patient's temperature at 38.5? Now where do we see the point between 38 and 39? That is at 12 noon. The patient's temperature was same two times during the given period. Two times we could see the point at the same point on y-axis. Now when was it? It was at 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. wherein the temperature was 36.5 degrees Celsius. Next, what is the temperature at 1:30? Now, at 1:30 means the time is between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. exactly in between. And we could see that it was somewhere between 36 and 37. So, somewhere which is exactly in middle, it is 36.5 degrees Celsius. During which periods did the patient's temperature show an upward trend? Where do we see the upward line going on? That is 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. We could see the lines moving upward. Therefore, the upward trend is shown at three different times. Now, this is first question. Now, let's go for the second question. Now, in the second question, we have the sales for a manufacturing company and the sales are represented in rupees crores. So, here the first one, what were the sales in 2002 and 2006? Now, 2002, we could see the point at 4 on y-axis. So that is 4. But then the sales are in crores. So we could say 4 crores, rupees 4 crores. And for 2006, we could see the point lying between 6 at 8 crores. So it is rupees 8 crores. What were the sales in 2003? Now 2003 we could see the point lies exactly between 6 and 8. That is why we could say it is rupees 7 crores. And at 2005 we could see the point at 10 on y-axis, therefore rupees 10 crores. Compute the difference between the sales in 2002 and 2006. Now in 2002 the sales were 4 crores and in 2006 it was 8 crores. So the difference between them is 4 crores. So rupees 4 crores. In which year was the greatest difference between the sales as compared to the previous year? Where could we see the maximum difference? And that is in 2005. Compared to 2004, the 2005 sales were the maximum as seen in the graph here. Now the next question shows us the growth of two plants, plant A and plant B, for 3 weeks. So different heights were recorded for the plant A and plant B. Plant A is shown by dotted line whereas plant B is shown by uninterrupted line. So what was the plant A's height at 2 weeks? Now after 2 weeks it was it exactly in between 6 and 8. Now between 6 and 8 means 7 centimeter. Therefore 7 centimeter at 2 weeks. And then at 3 weeks we could see plant A is between 8 and 10. So exactly in between 8 and 10, therefore 9 centimeter. How high was plant B after 2 weeks? Now after 2 weeks we could see the point at 7 again, because it is exactly between 6 and 8, so therefore 7 centimeter. And at 3 weeks we could see the point of plant B at 10 centimeter on y axis, therefore 10 centimeter. How much did plant A grow during the third week? Now in the third week the plant grew how much? That's what we have to find out. Now to do that we have to find the difference between the heights at second weekend and third weekend. So it is 2 centimeter, as we could see that plant A's growth after three weeks was 9 centimeter, and at second weekend it was 7 centimeter. So difference between 9 and 7 is 2 centimeter. Now you might wonder if it is possible to subtract 7 from 9. We have studied integers, so it is possible, but always remember one thing, that whenever we have to write the measure or distance or height of something, it cannot be negative one. These are always going to be positive, so you always subtract the smaller one from the bigger one. So here the bigger measure is 9 centimeter and the smaller one is 7. So 9 minus 7 we get 2 centimeter. How much did the plant B grow during the end of second week and the end of third week? Now again, plant B, the difference between heights is 10 minus 7, that is 3 centimeter. During which week did the plant A grow most? Maximum upward trend for plant A is seen in second week. We could see the longest line there. During which week did the plant B grow the least? The smallest line for plant B, the uninterrupted line, lies in first week. Were the two plants same height during any week? Shown here. Now here, where do we see the line for points for plant A and plant B coinciding? Where do they come together? It is at the second weekend. So we could say at the end of second week is our answer. Now the next question, the following graph shows the actual forecast and the temperature forecast. For actual and the actual forecast and the and the following graph shows the temperature forecast for actual and forecast temperature for each day of the week. Also, and we have to find out what are the answers to the questions that follow. Now, the forecast is shown by dotted line and the actual temperature is shown by uninterrupted line. So, on which days the forecast temperature was the same as the actual temperature? Now, where do we see the points for actual and the forecast meeting or coinciding? So, it is on Tuesday, on Friday, and on Sunday. Now here, because we could see that the points are coinciding, so our answer is going to be Tuesday, Friday and Sunday. What was the maximum forecast temperature during the week? Maximum, the highest point for forecast is 35 degrees Celsius, which is shown on Sunday. What was the minimum actual temperature during the week? The smallest one for actual one is 15 degrees Celsius. On which day did the actual temperature differ the most from the forecast temperature? Where do we see the maximum distance between the actual and the forecast temperatures? It is on Thursday, where we see the distance to be longest one, the biggest one. So that's the fourth question. Now after this we have fifth question, wherein we have to make the graph, the linear graph. Now here the quantities given are 2003 8, 2004 10, 2005 5 and 2006 12. Now here this is a graph. Now here we have to put the years on the x-axis, and on y-axis we have taken the number of days. So 1 centimeter is 1 day. So that's why for after two boxes we have 2, 4, then 6, 8, 10 and 12. Now here we have to write the scale, and scale on y-axis is 1 centimeter is 1 day. On y-axis 1 centimeter is 1 year, and 2003 it is 8. So the point should be showing 8. 2004 it should be 10. 2005 it should be 5, and 2006 it should be 12. So as seen here, we could see the points. After that, we have to connect the points and make the linear graph. Now next, a courier person cycles from a town in the neighboring suburban area to deliver a parcel to a merchant. His distance from the town at different times is shown by the following graph. What is the scale taken for the time axis? Scale taken, how many centimeter equals to how many hour or how many kilometers we have to find out. So the time, we could see that each hour is shown by 4 boxes. That means the scale taken is 4 centimeter equals to 1 hour on x-axis. Now, how much time did the person take for the travel? The total time from the beginning to the end is 8 to 11:30, therefore 3.5 hours. How far is the place of the merchant from the town? So we could see that he has traveled 22 kilometer and reached the merchant's house, therefore it is 22 kilometer. Did the person stop on his way? Explain. Now here, do we see any point, any particular space wherein the line is exactly horizontal or parallel to x-axis? Yes, we do. It is at 10:30 to 11, 10 to 10:30. So there the line is horizontal, therefore the person did not travel any distance. And since he did not travel, that means he stopped. Therefore, we should say yes, as no distance was covered during 10 to 10:30. That's the reason. During which period did he ride the fastest? When was the line the longest? So that is from 8 to 9, that is first hour. Now the next. Now here we are going to study Cartesian plane. Now what do we mean by Cartesian plane? Cartesian plane is a plane wherein we could see two axes, x-axis and y-axis, intersecting it at the center of the page, that is graph paper. And this is actually a combination of algebra and geometry, therefore it's called as coordinate geometry. And since it was discovered by a French mathematician called René Descartes, we see the name Cartesian plane given to it. Now Cartesian plane
can be used in finding a point anywhere on the planet using longitude and latitude as shown in the map.
Now this is the Cartesian plane wherein we could see the x-axis and y-axis coming together. Actually, x-axis and y-axis are the different number lines which intersect at a point called O, that is 0, or even O stands for origin. Now here we could see the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant. That is, the graph paper is divided into 4 parts, 4 quarters. Each of the quarter is called as a quadrant. First quadrant is the one that we are going to study for this year. Second, third and fourth quadrant will come later. Now we could see the first quadrant being all positive points, whereas second quadrant we could see x coordinates to be negative and y points to be, or y coordinates to be positive. And third quadrant, all the points are negatives. And in fourth quadrant we could see y coordinates to be negative and x coordinates to be positive. Now this is the next part. A point A is in a Cartesian plane with coordinates 1 and 2. How would it look? Now point A has the coordinates x coordinate as 1 and y coordinate as 2. So what we do is take point 1 from x and from 2 from y coordinate, y axis. Therefore the point A, this is a point A line, and because the coordinates are 1 and 2, that's why we have taken in such a fashion. And it lies in first quadrant because both the points are positives, therefore first quadrant. Now the next one is the signs, where and how the signs are to be put. Now here we could see first quadrant both the points are positives. Second quadrant, first coordinate will be negative and second coordinate will be positive. Now first coordinate is always x coordinate and second coordinate is always y coordinate by convention, because x is alphabetically first or before y. That is why it is x coordinate first and y coordinate next. And in third quadrant we could see both the coordinates to be negative, and in fourth quadrant we could see the x coordinate to be positive and y coordinate to be negative. Now here we have to plot these 4 points, point A, B, C and D. Point A, both are positives, so it lies in the first quadrant. Point B, you could see the first, that is x coordinate, to be negative and y coordinate to be positive. Therefore, it lies in the second quadrant. And point C, you could see both the points to be negative, therefore third quadrant. And point D, first coordinate, that is x coordinate, is positive and second coordinate, that is y coordinate, is negative, therefore it lies in the fourth quadrant. Now here is a homework. You have to plot these points and state the quadrant in which they lie. That's all for now. We'll meet again in the next video. Have a good day.